Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second segment of the episode. If you're on YouTube, it's the second video. Logan has something prepared for both me and Justin today. He hasn't told me what it is. He hasn't told Justin what it is. All I know is that it's some sort of just like general discussion thing.
We have...
What's that in your pocket? Is that a pepper or is that your...
That's his cock.
You're just happy to see me.
Okay. Me and Nico have kind of talked about this before, but I figured since we're going to be having our boy Justin on, certain aspects of his character make this a very good conversation topic.
My character?
You'll understand when I talk about it.
I'm actually afraid of what you're about to say.
I was actually just... I'm afraid.
Okay. So, today, with some old leaks and some new leaks and some personal fan theory and general discussion beyond that, we're going to be talking about... There's two different teams we're going to be talking about today.
Oh my god, it's X-Men, isn't it?
One is X-Men, one is the Justice League, and we're going to be giving our predicted starter lineups for their first appearances in their cinematic universes. Obviously, Marvel after the reboot, not the Fox X-Men. And Justice League, not the Snyderverse, fuck the Snyderverse. I have mine written down for both, and I have some explanations for why I pick said characters, what role I think they'll play, whatever. But before I say mine, or maybe after I say mine, we'll figure this out as we go. I'm going to hear...
say ours first, then you say yours.
I'm going to hear their opinions as we go, and then we're going to have just a kind of Socratic seminar-styled discussion.
Okay.
So, we're going to start with the Justice League.
Okay.
Because there's obviously... this one, I think there's a much more obvious direction with this. And I'm going to let you two do it together.
Okay. Okay, so...
And I'll put in...
We have to both agree on a lineup.
A starting lineup for the Justice League.
Of 7 people?
With
I have 8.
With the DCU.
8?
I have DCU. With the DCU.
So, we're doing 8 people or 7?
You can choose. I have 8 written down.
Do you want to do 8 or 7?
That's up to you, man.
Kind of figure it out.
I feel like Justice League is traditionally 7. We should stick to 7.
Figure it out as you go. I have 8 written down, and I'll explain why. But I'll kind of throw interjections in.
So if we divide it up, I get 2, you get 2, we share.
Just talk them and go.
Okay, here's the thing. If we're doing 7, right? Mm-hmm. The Trinity is non-negotiable. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. That's 3.
I also want you to discuss the rules. Actually, no, I'll do that.
I don't know if it was you two who told me, but like Wonder Woman doesn't have her invisible jet anymore. That shocked me.
It was not us that told you that, but I kind of knew that. That was very much.
She flies. I didn't know she fucking flew.
Well, yeah, I know she
fly,
flies,
yeah.
But that was kind of like a silver.
Like a
that
was like a Silver Age thing.
That was a Silver Age thing that they kind of kept around because it was funny, and then they realized this.
But okay, for the lineup, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, non-negotiable. That's the Trinity. You have to do those. After that, what do you mean? Why are you making that face?
No, I'm thinking what other characters.
Okay, after that, you have to have Flash. You have to have Green Lantern. That's 5, right? So now that you have 5, you need the only pretty much Justice League character that's like pretty much has nothing to do outside of the Justice League. That's Martian Manhunter. That's 6.
I was gonna say Martian Manhunter.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that you have 6, if we're only doing 7, what I think they're gonna do is that you can't have only one woman in there. You need it to be another woman. I think it's gonna end up being Supergirl, and if they do 8, it's gonna be Supergirl and Hawkgirl.
Okay. Justin,
isn't Hawkgirl like because she's already in the thing? Why wouldn't she?
It's a different thing, but to be fair,
the Justice Gang is going to end up disbanding. I hope you realize that.
Yeah, they will end up disbanding
because Maxwell Lord does not have pure intentions.
Okay, since we'll kind of just do this together because we don't have an exact format for how we want to talk about this. I have mine written down. So I have the Trinity. Superman should be the leader. Batman should be a part-timer because you can't just ignore Gotham. Because if you put Batman on the Justice League, he ignores Gotham. Yes. He has to be a part-timer. So I have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter. I have Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, because I don't think it makes any sense to have Guy Gardner be the Green Lantern there.
They're not going to do that, no.
I think you fuck him off and you put him in the Red Lantern Corps. You make something interesting out of that, or you just have him go be cop, a mall cop. I don't know.
There's other stuff you can do with Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
I think Hawkgirl is going to be the one from the what do you call him?
The Justice Gang?
Justice Gang that stays. I do not think Supergirl will join the Justice League. I don't think it makes sense from what we've seen from her character so far. I don't know. Maybe, obviously, you read Woman Tomorrow. I don't know how much they're going to change from that movie in terms of character arc. So, as of right now, I'm going to assume from...
Can I explain why I think it's going to be Supergirl?
After I finish.
Okay.
So, right now, I think from Supergirl, I think with her role, she should be on planet, off planet. She shouldn't be a consistent Justice League member because she's not going to consistently be there.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they're setting it up to be, especially with Lobo being in that movie. some sort of dynamic developing there. Whereas they've already had, we see line interactions in the trailer. And one thing I noticed, a big aspect of DC that's completely missing from this team that I mentioned so far. Do either of you want to guess what I'm mentioning?
A big aspect of DC that's missing
A
from
lot
the
of
DCU?
a lot of characters are focused around this. That's we haven't seen in the DCU, and I haven't mentioned on my team yet.
Aquaman?
No.
Aquaman is a B tier character, C tier probably.
Shazam?
No, technically though, I'm not talking about characters. The big aspect that this team is missing is magic.
Uh-huh.
Oh, oh my god.
So many DC characters, magic as a main ability. And what does this team have? None of. Magic. Consistently, the Justice League normally has one...
Well, Wonder Woman to an extent.
No, this isn't
The
absolute.
lasso?
This isn't absolute Wonder Woman, bro.
The absolute... I'm not talking about absolute.
Wonder Woman only has the lasso of truth. She doesn't use magic. She doesn't use magic.
She doesn't cast spells and stuff, but she has magical properties to her.
You can argue that
Are
about
you going
Superman.
to say Doctor
No, you can't. Superman is all biological.
Yeah, but wait, Wonder Woman's also all biological. She was forged by the gods.
Which are, in essence, divine.
Yes, but
Yeah.
when
That's magical.
when it's implanted into her being, she's not summoning upon magic.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like something she turns on and off, like Green Lantern with a
Whoa,
ring.
whoa. She can turn things on and off. Let's not get that twisted.
Okay.
Depends who they cast. But moving beyond the point, so I've watched a few videos of people talking about it. There's a few magical characters that could be introduced. Shazam, technically.
I don't think they're going to do Shazam.
I don't think they'll do the Shazam because of the movies.
Yeah.
Zatanna was a big one I saw.
No.
I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they might age her down so that she can fit onto
Who's that one dude?
a Young Justice they do.
The blonde guy. He has the trench coat.
That's John Constantine.
No
He will never be a Justice League member.
No, but I'm saying, do you think they'll do him in the...
He
In
might.
the DC, will he be in the DC?
He will definitely be a character at some point, but that's not going to be for a while.
Yeah, not for a while, yeah.
If he doesn't pop up in Man of Tomorrow, because
Dr.
literally
Fate is like a
everyone's
Justice Society character.
nah, it kind of depends. So
No, vast majority of the time he's a Justice Society character. And, we know in James Gunn's DCU that metahumans have been around for, hundreds and hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. So Dr. Fate has probably already existed.
Dr. Fate has already existed. He's when Dr. Fate gets the helmet, he's the fourth user. But what I want to say is, because from what we know, right now I have 7 characters listed. Mr. Terrific is going to go form the Terrifics, and they're going to be their own group. Guy Gardner is going to go be a mall cop somewhere in Wisconsin. Hawk Girl, I think, should stay on the team because this team severely lacks female members. You can't have Wonder Woman be the only female member.
Yeah.
My 8th one, I should say, is Dr. Fate, but not Kent Nelson Dr. Fate. I have Inza Kramer, who is Dr. Fate's love interest. She's the other archaeologist that finds the Dr. Fate helmet with him. And there's a very specific reason I have this version of the character included instead. And that is because Dr. Fate, Kent Nelson, well, all the Dr. Fates pretty much share a personality because of the helmet and all of that. Mm-hmm. Kent Nelson, in his attributes of how he fights, is very offensive. Very much, he doesn't care about the people, which a big part of the Justice League, and this is Flash's main role in almost all of the Justice League things, is he's just saving civilians. Unless there's no civilians around, Flash, isn't fighting a lot of the time, which is the one thing Snyder did right. But you go into Kramer, in her appearances, she's constantly defensive, shields, not healing, but stuff like that, supporting roles.
Does she make walls?
She can make walls, yes.
She Adam Eve?
I knew you were going to say Adam Eve. Fuck you.
Okay, but in that main way, I think that creates a balanced team with good dynamics across. I think Dr. Fate's always a good character to have on the Justice League because he kind of, he, her, however you want to describe it, it's kind of a collective, so they, I guess. I think it's an interesting character because it's the oldest character. It's different people speaking through one combined, what do you call it?
Helmet, yeah.
The helmet, avatar, whatever.
Right.
And he's oftentimes the most objective in his rankings, and his decision making and all of that. So it creates interesting dynamics. And similar to Martian Manhunter, when he first starts out, he kind of becomes more personable later on. But when you see these big villains come down to Earth, which is obviously going to happen in a Justice League movie. I mean, not Brainiac, but Doomsday. If they do a Yellow Lantern Crisis, whenever they do the fucking Black Lantern Crisis, whenever they introduce the multiversal Justice League things, stuff like that.
They'll do Cyborg?
I
Teen
think
Titans.
he's going to be
Teen
Teen Titans.
Titans,
They're definitely going to do Teen Titans with Cyborg.
Okay, can I explain my reasoning?
Yes.
I see where you're coming from with the Dr. Fate stuff. And although I think it's a decent idea, I don't think it's a realistic one. And the reason why I say that is because the DCU has one live action movie out right now. That's Superman. Supergirl is in that movie. The next DCU movie we're going to get is Supergirl. That's obviously her movie. Then you have Clayface, which is obviously its own separate thing. But the very next one is Man of Tomorrow. Supergirl is going to be in that movie. We've known since the start of the DCU that James Gunn sees Superman as his Iron Man figure, where he's going to kind of be the head of the universe, and his saga is going to be kind of prioritized, right? That's why you're going to have Superman lead into a spin-off for Supergirl, and you're going to have the main villain of the Superman movie be Lex Luthor, and we know that Man of Tomorrow is going to be very Lex Luthor-centric when it comes to defeating Brainiac, and kind of more of a character study into him. So my point is that if you're including Supergirl into that fold, I don't think they're going to prioritize a character like this so much just to not have her in the eventual Justice League lineup. And the reason why I say that is because we already know, because of what James Gunn has already said, that Supergirl's current role pre her movie, right, chronologically in the universe, is that her role right now is that she knows who the Justice Gang is and has helped both the Justice Gang and Superman with stuff in and around Earth. She's just not that competent of a hero right now because her heart isn't in it because of the grief of losing all her planet, and that's what her movie is going to be about, right? Mm-hmm. By the end of her movie, she is not an off-planet hero. She is a on-planet hero. That is very obvious, that is very clear, and that is stated both in the comic for Woman of Tomorrow and in general for her stuff. She goes off-world sometimes because she's a Kryptonian, the same way Superman does, but she's an on-planet hero, which is why it makes sense to me that, because obviously you can't have Wonder Woman be the only female character in the Justice League lineup. You obviously can't take out any of the other male ones. Flash is too important. Jon Stewart and Green Lantern is too important. Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter, those 5 you have to have in there. You can't take them out for someone else. So, Hawk Girl is already there. If they decide to keep her around, she's definitely going to be in it, especially because they probably want to do that romance between her and Jon Stewart. And then
there's no way they'd if they do the Hawk Girl thing over the Jon Stewart.
They won't because it's already been teased that they're gonna do the Green Lantern Hawk Girl stuff. It's already been teased. Like Isabella Merced, the one who plays Hawk Girl, has teased wanting to do like romantic on-screen stuff with the guy who plays Jon Stewart. I forget his name right now. Aaron Pierre, right? Aaron Pierre. But that's my reasoning. Where if you're gonna go 8, you need to include Supergirl. If you're not gonna go 8 and you're just gonna do 7, you can leave Supergirl out, but she'll probably still help out. But if you're gonna do 8, especially if it's another woman, I don't see how it wouldn't be Supergirl.
My thing with that is, 1, I think there's more you could do with Supergirl outside of the Justice League than in it. And 2, like I said, a big aspect of this universe is getting ignored in terms of just the magical side of this universe. I mean, obviously you could talk about, they could go into it with Raven when they eventually do Teen Titans stuff and whatever.
Well, yeah, you could do that.
But there needs to be a magical...
The Justice League has never been, like you've never really had a lineup in the Justice League with a character that's pretty much all magic. Only magic. That has never been a thing, and I don't think James Gunn is about a...
No, Zatana's been on and off the Justice League in several iterations in comics. Dr. Fate's been on and off. Not a core member, but neither is Supergirl.
Okay, yeah, my point is that if you're going, we're advocating for an 8th member to be there. You're advocating for a member that is not a core member. And my point is that as of right now, I don't see how any other character that isn't traditionally a core member of the Justice League has more chance of being in it than Supergirl, considering that by the end of 2027, she's already going to have appeared in 3 movies.
Yeah. But here's my thing. I think with an introduction of a Dr. Fate, even if you don't do Inza Kramer, even if you do Kent Nelson or something like that, you can bring in, obviously he appeared in the Black Adam movie, but you can bring in a character that's not as significant in a lot of ways.
Captain Atom?
No.
Dude, that's not magic.
No, but I'm saying he's talking about significant.
Yeah, but like you can bring in characters like that, which is something that the MCU did. Is they brought in characters who, I mean, a lot of their characters.
But here's the thing. The MCU brought in those characters after they basically milked their original 6. They're not going to take out someone from the original 6 or add in someone randomly to the original 6.
I wouldn't say that because Scarlet Witch is in the second Avengers movie. And
Scarlet Witch is in the second Avengers movie, sure. But like that's not the same as adding Scarlet Witch to the Avengers in the second Avengers movie, right? Then adding Dr. Fate into the Avengers in the first Justice League movie. That's not the same.
Avengers? Okay, Justice League. 1, Dr. Fate is there, and 2, I think Supergirl can be safe for her own thing. And one thing I think I want to not see is a Superboy, at least not for a long time.
Yeah. Superboy's not gonna. Why would Superboy happen? Supergirl has nothing to do with Superboy.
Like I was saying, if they do a Young Justice or anything like that, because we already know that Damian Wayne is going to be the main Robin, so that means that implies that Nightwing's going to be a thing, that Red Hood's going to be a thing, that Tim Drake's going to be there. So if they decide to do a Young Justice, which we don't know the direction they're going, Flash, if Wally West is going to be there, Cyborg, fucking Aquaboy, or anything like that, if they decide to do Young Justice, I would rather see Supergirl there than a Superboy or anything like that, because I don't want to see a Superboy, and not for a long time. I think that does more for her character than just being thrown on the Justice League and just being collared by Superman.
Collared by Superman? Okay, hold on. Because now you're kind of going a little like, I don't know if you know what you're talking about, respectfully, bro. Supergirl is not nearly young enough to be on that team.
In terms of mental age, like maybe in terms of actual age, but in terms of action, yes, she acts the same age as everyone there.
No, she's not. Number one, collared by Superman is like that couldn't be further from the truth of her character. Number one. Number two, they're not going to do a Young Justice. They already had a writer on a Titans movie, a Teen Titans movie. They're not going to put Supergirl into that lineup. Number one, because it makes no sense for a character that powerful to be on the Teen Titans. That's never happened before, and it probably will never happen. She is not going to get her own solo movie just to be put in a Teen Titans lineup. That will not happen. I can guarantee you that.
It's kind of ridiculous.
And it does not make sense for her character either. So my point is, if you want more magic in the DCU, I hear that, I understand that, and I agree with that. My point is, that does not have to come from the Justice League. The DCU is not going to be just the Justice League. You're going to have the Terrifics. You're going to have the Teen Titans. And you're going to have the more magical side as well. Like, Batman has magical villains. Superman, his only vulnerability is magical villains. Yeah. There is space in the DCU to include... There's space in the DCU to include magical stuff and magical characters without having to kind of force one of them awkwardly into the lineup. I'm not saying,
though.
Bro, if you want a Dr. Fate on the Justice League, I'm telling you that will not happen. If that's going to happen, it's going to be in like the second or third Justice League movie where maybe you have one or two characters who aren't there anymore.
Okay, if anything, I don't think... But here's my thing. What does Supergirl provide to the Justice League that isn't already there? Compared to a Dr. Fate type character.
I'm telling you, that's the reason why there shouldn't be an 8th member. But if we're advocating for an 8th member, there isn't much that the Justice League doesn't have, right? So if you're going to add a Supergirl, it's going to be because of logistically what the probabilities are. She's not going to appear in 3 solo movies to be put on the Teen Titans lineup. She's not going to appear in 3 solo movies in the first 2 years of the fucking DCU just to be put in and just have her own thing and be written off and be a side thing. If they're going to have an 8th member, I promise you it will be Supergirl. And I've heard people say that that there's a good chance they might prioritize Supergirl over Hawkgirl and have Hawkgirl do her own thing. Because they've prioritized Supergirl a lot in the DCU so far. Mm-hmm. 2 years in, from 2025 to 2027, she's going to have appeared in 3 movies. I don't think that's a coincidence.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't see her on the Justice League. I don't see what she brings to that table at all. But...
I see how it could definitely work, for sure. But I also think that, like, I don't agree with needing an 8th member. I don't think Justice League needs 8 members. I think you need 7.
That's, like, later down the line.
Yeah. We're going to move to the other segment. And, Justin, I expect more from you here.
Okay.
And this is going to be the X-Men segment.
Oh, God. Can I say one thing before we move into
You can give your sentence.
If the Mad Hatter is in Clayface, I'll sell my soul to James Gunn.
The Mad Hatter is not going to be Clayface.
Dude, there's always hope.
There's always hope. There's always hope. Condiment King will appear in the DCU, trust me.
No.
Okay, moving back. So we have the X-Men,
Was it
and
Firefly? Sorry.
we have the X-Men, and just to preface this, the X-Men as of right now, I don't know. We've probably said this before, but for anyone who hasn't heard it, the next saga after the universe reboot from Secret Wars is going to be entirely focused on the X-Men.
Oh.
So, obviously, that includes them, their villains, all of that, minus Wolverine. Wolverine's kind of the one that's getting cut out just because of how synonymous Wolverine now is with Hugh Jackman. He's gonna get recast eventually, but it's gonna be probably later down the line. And if we see Hugh Jackman's character die again. So, just to preface this, as of right now, the supposed script leak is that the X-Men is going to be the original 5 from the very first X-Men comic. And for anyone who doesn't know, I'm going to read that off. I have Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. Those are the leaked 5 that may be in it.
And obviously Professor X.
He's not
outside of it, right? But
He's not X-Men.
I know he's not. You get what I mean?
Yeah, fuck you up, bro.
Okay, yes. We have Professor X.
Is the Fantastic Four still going to be a thing? The Fantastic Four.
I think they'll probably do Future
Yes,
Foundation.
that's still going to be a thing.
A Namor.
Do you think they'll recast that or just do Future Foundation?
They're not going to recast the Fantastic Four. No.
After Secret Wars?
No, they're not going to recast it after Secret Wars. They just got here.
Okay, yeah.
No, they're not going to.
Namor. Remember the time. Sorry. I'm lost.
Okay.
Can't say
But
it's not friendly.
that's gonna get us obviously. Charles Xavier is gonna play his fucking Master Splinter role, whatever, all of that. So that is 5 characters.
Yeah.
So on my list, I have 5 characters. If you want to go, I have 5, maybe 6. I have one with a maybe.
Can I start off with one?
And if you guys want to go larger, you can. But I will warn you.
Max.
Don't
what?
expect there's not gonna be any solo movies leading up to this, other than an appearance in Brand New Day from Jean Grey.
Possibly. We don't
Why
know.
the fuck
Rumored.
is she in that movie?
We're gonna
We
figure
don't
that out in a month.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be so I would not expect a very large cast going into this.
Okay.
So, Justin, what were you gonna say?
Storm.
Okay.
Do you want to give us a reason why you think Storm should be there?
I don't know. She feels like a strong character to have.
I agree. Storm is one of my favorite X-Men. I think there's a lot to do with her character. Obviously, the claustrophobic girl that owns the skies, I think is very cool. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot of things that go into this. And a big thing, obviously, the X-Men are the most controversial group ever just because of their nature as characters. Mm-hmm. You have to view the X-Men as many things. They're not just an allegory to race. They're an allegory to so many things. That's why when you see X-Men with physical mutations, they get treated so much worse and all of that. And it was a big controversy online when the leak was it would be just the 05. Mm-hmm. Because obviously no Storm, all of the original 5 were written in the 1960s. They were all white.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna be on. This obviously isn't the segment for me. Out of all the things that we talk about on this podcast, the X-Men is the topic I'm least knowledgeable on because I never watched the.
You want me to take over?
Well, I'm gonna give my stuff first, and then you can take over.
He did a lot for Justice League, Justin. I'll let you get this one.
But I would personally say that with my very limited knowledge about the X-Men, because I never watched the Fox X-Men stuff, I didn't watch the X-Men animated show growing up, none of that stuff. One name that was left out of there that I would personally want to see, just because from the little I have seen about the X-Men, I really like her character, is Rogue. I don't want to have an X-Men lineup without Rogue. I would want to see Rogue in live action.
Option.
I would want to see Rogue in live action. I don't know what they're going to do with Gambit, because I don't know if they're going to have Channing Tatum.
They're not going to do
Gambit.
that.
No Channing Tatum this time.
He's going to.
But is it going to be a situation of will they recast him this after Secret Wars, right after?
He's not.
Or is there going to be a waiting period?
He's not going to be in the starting 5.
Different universe.
I can tell you right now, Gambit's not going to be in the starting 5 because he does kind of pop before he's an X-Men. He's kind of like a. How do I describe it? He's kind of like a Hawkeye, where he kind of starts as a villain and then transitions to becoming an X-Men hero and all that.
But I would want to see Rogue. What are the other ones? Beast is cool. Cyclops is cool. That's 3. I don't know that much about Angel. I'm not really that excited about seeing Angel.
I like Angel. Angel's one of the
I
ones
would rather see someone
he's a bit more.
I don't know. I'd rather
Angel.
I'd rather them recast Wolverine, if I'm being honest.
Angel is a lot more on the nose than a lot of the X-Men, which is
Because
why
Angel
he's
in the
because the whole thing
Fox
is Angel.
universe,
He's an angel that gets his wings clipped.
yeah.
Because he has a physical mutation. His dad is this super rich guy who hates it. He's like, I want my son to be normal so he can take over and be my legacy and all of that. So Angel gets in an accident, and his dad tells the surgeon, cut his fucking wings off.
Yeah, I'm not really that I'm like, that doesn't really excite me that much. I'd rather seen Wolverine recasted. So what? That's like 4 characters. So Cyclops, Rogue, Jean, Wolverine. That's 5
Mystique.
for me.
Mystique.
I don't think Mystique should be an X-Men. That was a Fox thing. I think let's keep it away from that.
You think so?
The only thing that Mystique provides, other than being like a villain, is that she's Nightcrawler's mom. That's the only thing I like about her.
Oh yeah, Nightcrawler. That would be like my 5.
I was gonna.
Okay, yeah.
Nightcrawler was gonna go mine.
So Justin, I'm gonna read my 5 off, and Nico, you can obviously hop in too, and I'm gonna give a bit of reasoning for mine. So obviously we have Professor X, whether they have the mansion at this point, whatever. I'm gonna start. I think the absolute lock is Beast.
Yeah, absolute lock. He's the brains.
I think Beast is the lock on the X-Men before anyone else.
You can't have the X-Men without Beast.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about this movie. I think that Jean Grey is the next one that is definitely going to be there. Mm-hmm. I think that Rogue should be there. That's my 3rd one.
Yeah.
I think Iceman should be there.
Oh, fuck you. I was going to say that. Can my list be similar?
We'll have a discussion.
Okay.
And then I think Angel should be there. And if they're doing a 6th member, I think Storm, but I want to talk about Storm after. So, obviously there's a big focus on staying small, but I also wanted to represent the different types of mutations. Obviously, Angel has wings sprouting from his back. Rogue looks like a normal girl. The second she touches someone, they die. Jean Grey, completely normal. Literally no one could tell she has a mutation if she was walking around New York City, which we're going to see. Or something like that.
Maybe.
Or maybe she's Typhoid Mary, fucking Sadie Sink. Whatever. Beast, obviously Beast is just, other than Cyclops, he's the most synonymous character to the X-Men. But one thing neither of you notice is my team completely lacks Cyclops. So, Cyclops, really interesting character, one of, if not the best leaders in fiction. He's the X-Man. He is the X-Man. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, the direction I want for this movie is you're doing the X-Men. You cannot keep it the way Marvel has been. You cannot keep it as a fucking, good guy fights bad guy, happy ending, a few jokes thrown in there, Marvel humor, whatever. You need to focus on the dark tones of the X-Men. Obviously, I don't think Magneto would be the villain from movie 1. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I personally would prefer.
I don't think they can hold themselves back.
I don't think they can hold themselves back. I think I would prefer if he was saved for like the 2nd or 3rd X-Men movie.
I don't think they're going to hold themselves back.
No.
But what I want from the X-Men movie is I want it to be rough. I want it to be shit. I want there to be a lot of like mess ups. It's the start. I want it to like go into why mutants are hated, why mutants are feared. I want to see like fuck ups. I want to see like Jean Grey like drop a building or something like that, and it kill people, and it causes negative negative PR onto the mutants, onto the X-Men. I want to see them be a flawed team. And while, yes, I want to see in this movie them be successful at the end so that we can have a good setup for the next movie in the future, I want to see them realize how flawed they are. That way, in a second movie, we can bring in Cyclops in an interesting way and not just have him be there because he's the leader. I want him brought in. I want him to be like, oh, we're flawed, we're disjointed, we're all of this. We need a leader. And that's what Scott Summers has brought in. Because Scott Summers, from his introduction, is literally groomed by Charles Xavier to be the leader of the X-Men. In comics, like, he has a wild backstory. If anyone wants to watch a video on that, there's like aliens and shit. But if you go in, he was groomed by Charles Xavier to be the leader. I want that to happen. I want it to be the X-Men are faltering. They aren't what they need to be for the mutant race. They aren't that kind of... I can't say that. They aren't that, like, positive representation of the mutant race. And that's when you have characters like fucking... characters like Scott Summers. Characters like Storm. Nightcrawler, who's one of the, like, most empathetic X-Men. Like, characters like that step in and kind of become that positive representation. Kind of complete the team. Make them the whole that they need to be. Or Colossus, a character like him.
What are your opinions on that, Justin? What do you think?
I mean, that's not bad. We have similar lists. Very similar. I think because we're just that close.
Justin, who would you like to see as a villain of the first X-Men movie?
Villain of the first X-Men movie?
Because
I really listen. I know you guys don't want to see. I really want to see a good live action Magneto.
Oh, Magneto's one of my favorite characters ever in any medium. I just think he should be saved. I think he should be built up. I don't think he should be you don't use fucking Darkseid as your first Justice League movie, Zack Snyder. You save your best villain. You build them up. You do a lot with them. That's why Marvel were building up Thanos since the first Avengers.
Were they?
Yes.
Oh, first Avenger. My bad.
You save your best villains. You build them up. Because Magneto has a very strong case to be one of, if not the best written characters in all of Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
You use that character and you make the most out of him, which they have the opportunity to do. But if they use him in the first movie, then
you don't think they could still save him to be a recurring villain?
Because then you're just going to do what the Fox did. You're just going to do what Fox did.
Maybe, I don't know. I just personally listen. I never watched Fox X-Men because that just never really interested me as a kid. Those movies, but I would like to see a nice little Magneto.
No, don't get me wrong. I want a Magneto.
Let me ask you a question.
Bad.
Would you like it if, say, I don't know, pick whatever villain you want for the first X-Men movie, right? Would you like it if they did that first X-Men movie with whatever lineup, right? And then you have a separate movie after for Magneto?
I think if he gets his own solo movie, it would be interesting.
You think that'd be like, release the X-Men movie, say 2028, because Secret Wars is going to be 2027. Say you release the X-Men movie 2028. 2029, you have a Magneto solo film.
That would be interesting, but in that solo film, it would have to be basically entirely focused on him, his backstory, and then Charles Xavier, and basically lead up to the start of the X-Men, whenever Charles meets Beast or something like that. I have an interesting proposal for the first villain of an X-Men movie, and that is Emma Frost.
Emma Frost would be very good. I was actually thinking Emma Frost.
And I have an interesting addition onto that. Obviously, we're probably not going to see him because of Hugh Jackman. Yeah. But an Emma Frost with a forcefully savage Wolverine as her enforcer, I think creates a very, very interesting start to the X-Men, where you can then bring back that Wolverine later, have him become an X-Men, have it be a dynamic with the originals, be like, we don't trust you because of this, and all of that, and he has to earn his way onto the X-Men, which is what Wolverine should do, because he's not supposed to be an X-Men. He's supposed to be an anti-hero that gets onto the team later and has to earn it, has to prove why he's there, and be the enforcer of that team who does the dirty work. I think Emma Frost would be a very interesting character. Obviously, her powers are just cool. Her main mutation, I don't know what they call it, secondary mutation, where she can turn to diamonds.
Yeah.
I think it's her versus Jean Grey is obviously always amazing. Literally always.
I actually really like that because it kind of shows, because she can manipulate people. She can it's like mind control, but it's not fully.
She just has a worse version of Charles Xavier telekinesis.
Exactly. And the way I how that could play out with them just starting out as a team, and just the dynamics of, oh, she can make you do that against your own teammate, and it would also fuck up.
And have it be some of their first deployments out as X-Men. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool. I mean, obviously the X-Men have some really good big villains. I mean, Mr. Sinister, Magneto, just the U.S. government.
Yeah.
I will say, one direction I do want to avoid, while I do think the government should be a villain in the movie, I do not think we should do a government main villain thing. I do not think we should see Captain America as an antagonist, because they do that so often in X-Men comics. Me and Nico I've told Nico this. The way that Captain America gets written in X-Men comics genuinely disgusts me.
Yeah, you have definitely went on a few tangents about that.
Do you want my list for the team? Or?
Yeah, Justin, go ahead. Mention it. If you want to talk about what you want for that X-Men universe, we can go ahead and do that.
We
got about 10 extra minutes.
Are we counting Quicksilver?
No. He's not.
Yeah, he was already in the MCU. He's already dead.
He's already in the MCU. He's already dead. If they do bring him back, it's going to be because he's Magneto's number 2. That's the only reason they would bring him back. Okay. Which I think that'd be cool.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Because,
they're gonna bring him back
if they bring him back, then they would have to recast Scarlet Witch, and I don't think they'll do that because of how big of a role she played in the MCU.
Yeah. They're not going to recast either.
That was such a waste. You didn't see that one coming. Sorry. That one's... I like Quicksilver.
I do. I really like Quicksilver as well, but...
Him and Scarlet Witch are not going to be part of the Mutant Saga.
There's just so many implications with recasting Quicksilver that you can't do.
Okay, for my lineup...
Especially because they also did it in Fox with just Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
My lineup, first, at the one, we gotta have Beast. like I said, main.
I
He's
think-
coming up with everything.
I think Beast is the most synonymous X-Men behind Cyclops, but I don't think Cyclops should start on this team.
No. I was gonna have Iceman, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Storm. I wasn't gonna go with Angel, but then your points, because they all have to be diverse. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
So
I think-
maybe Angel.
I think the biggest thing you should focus on with this movie is the diversity in the mutations and
just
how that
because of
cause and the cause of how they get treated and how that affects each character.
And just because you said that, I'm gonna base it off like Marvel Rivals. Cyclops is not Cyclops. Sorry, Colossus at the tank. I like Colossus. He's a really.
I do like Colossus as
And you
well.
need a tank figure on the team. You need your brawler.
Yeah, it'd probably be Beast at the start. I'm not
No,
gonna
but he's
lie.
more like he could be the tank, but he's intellectual,
Yeah.
right?
But he's both.
Gene's also on there.
Beast is Smart Hulk done right. That's what Beast is.
Yes. I'd like to see the Cyclops later, obviously. Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, there's a lot you could
how many-
do. You could
how mu- what number
You could
am
do a. I don't know. We kind of lost count. You
Yeah.
could do a Kitty Pryde in there. Obviously, walking through walls
Mega
and all that.
Teenage Warhead.
Megasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yes, I forgot Megasonic.
Obviously with Kitty Pryde, I think Kitty Pryde's kind of a hard character to put in because she can travel through time. But like I said, Magneto is a character that should be built up. I do not think he should be the first villain of the X-Men movie. I think Emma Frost creates such an interesting dynamic, especially with them recasting Wolverine. The problem is recasting Wolverine if they were to do that.
Do you think
But
they'll
they
do
could
Darwin?
obviously Darwin's just he's a nothing burger of a character. They might as well throw a Forget-Me-Not in there. Which Banshee is interesting as well, but Banshee's also hard because he's just Cyclops' brother.
Because Jean's already in it and she
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, okay. Fair.
You could also throw, I mean, obviously in that movie you could have Emma Frost is obviously rich. You could have her paying fucking
obviously.
Toad in the Blob
Yeah.
and other fucking Pyro.
Don't make fun of Blob. Oh, yeah, Pyro.
I'm not making
with
fun.
Iceman?
Yeah, I'm
Pyro
just-
with Iceman?
I'm just listing X-Men villains off.
Okay.
You could have them
Dirty
being paid.
dog.
I have a question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
How mad would you guys be if, maybe not in the first X-Men movie, but in the X-Men saga, in the Mutant Saga post Secret Wars, they do the Phoenix Force again?
Oh.
How mad would you guys be?
Here's my thing. I never disliked the Phoenix Force. I disliked how bad they did it.
Yeah.
I think the Phoenix Force is a cool thing, and I think the Phoenix Force...
It's an interesting idea.
It's an interesting idea, and I do think it should be used eventually. It just has to be done right.
It's just later. It has to be later.
It has to be done right. Here's one thing I will say I never want them to do is Krakoa. I don't like
I
Krakoa.
don't think they'll ever do Krakoa.
I don't like Krakoa as an idea. I mean, obviously...
Actually, I think that might be their final thing to build up to, now that I think about it.
I don't like Krakoa as an idea, because here's my thing. It's a...
Really? No, not like being the final thing?
I could see that, yeah.
One, as a
I was thinking
concept...
Sentinels.
As a concept, it's weird. I would want to see Sentinels. But...
Obviously, who wouldn't want to see that?
As a concept, Krakoa is weird because it's a time traveling like turtle island, I think, or something like that, and all of that where only mutants can go on it. So it's like literally Deadpool can't enter without a special pass because he's not technically a mutant because he wasn't born with the gene. Like it's like weird. It's like weird stuff like that. But also because
They
Krakoa
could
kind
definitely
of
just change some of that.
yeah,
I want to see
could write-
Deadpool fuck Death. That's what I want to see.
I would also like to see that, but it also Krakoa to me kind of goes. I mean, yes, it's a safe space for mutants, which is what they wanted, but it also goes against what the true point of the X-Men was, which is to
Integrate.
assimilate into society, prove that they deserve to be treated equally.
Be who were they meant to be?
Which obviously, when you consider when the
Finally, be.
when you consider when the X-Men were created, and you kind of look at the aspects of that time period, you kind of realize what the X-Men are supposed to be, what they're supposed to represent. So Krakoa to me is just kind of an insult to that, even if it is kind of like a interesting concept you can work with. I think it's just disingenuous to what they are supposed to be.
I get that. I also do think that like Marvel might not be able to contain themselves from doing a Krakoa.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, I mean that kind of wraps up. I'm gonna list our teams off really fast. So we'll agree to disagree, and we'll agree to put just 7 members for the Justice League because we can't agree on the 8th member. So we have Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl. I think it's the 7.
And in my opinion, if you do an 8th member, it should be Supergirl.
Yeah, you could obviously work with that. There's
you want
a
mine?
billion and one characters you could put as that 8th member.
Do you want my 8th?
What would your 8th be, Justin?
I'm going to say Captain Atom, just be different.
I hope you die in the ditch.
Obviously,
I can say or with Adam.
I mean,
the guy that
DC
turns-
DC rotates that like 7th or 8th spot literally a billion times over. You could put whoever you want on there, and I doubt many
It's a
people would
pipe dream.
complain. But, and for the X-Men, we have Beast, Angel, Iceman, Rogue, Jean Grey, maybe Storm if they include her. She might be a movie 2 kind of thing, but
Colossus.
maybe Colossus as well. Those are also kind of characters that's like they could be there. I wouldn't hate if they were. I wouldn't hate if they're not.
Interchangeable.
Yeah. So those are our kind of just predicted teams for now. So
Predict.
obviously, I mean, I personally really like the kind of Emma Frost idea for the X-Men. I'm really excited to see what they do with them post Secret Wars and getting actually X-Men that care about the X-Men, care about the comics. Whatever, because the X-Men were the best selling, like, well, no, Justice League was.
I think the first X-Men movie should be the Phoenix Force with the American government as the main villain and have Magneto be a little boy toy for Charles Xavier, and he's not a real villain.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I think they should do.
Type shit. Okay, yeah,
They
so,
have-
And
The US
Magneto
government-
should fuck Rogue.
And there's a love side point with Rogue, with Jean Grey, with Wolverine.
Yeah, that too.
I think
Wolverine-
I think there should be send
no, and
Oh,
Wolverine,
Jean Grey.
also fucks Rogue.
Jean Grey should get pregnant with Scott Summers' child and then be revealed that it's actually Wolverine's child.
And then there should be a scene with Jean Grey and Rogue scissoring.
Okay, so with our little popular fan theories, we're now gonna wrap up this week's episode. If you're on Spotify
And I
or
think
YouTube,
Nico should kiss me.
Okay.
that's definitely gonna happen. So subscribe to the Patreon for that one.
Oh, fuck off, dude.
We'll have some spicy scenes.
Okay, no. Genuinely moving on. That's gonna wrap up. If you're on
With tongue.
if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe. I mean,
Tongue punch.
turn the notifications on. We post every Sunday unless some random thing comes up. Spotify, like it. I mean, I guess just send the stream to anyone you think might also be interested in what we have to talk about, or might also just
Or
like.
who's interested in two men tongue punching?
Okay, might just like our content or whatever. I mean, whatever help you guys can give us. Go on TikTok, follow us, something like that. Yeah, just anything you can do. We really appreciate you guys listening. Thank you for listening to This is Mando Grogu and just random side tangent
forgot
on
we
X-Men
did
and
that.
Justice League. So, thank you guys for listening. That's all for today, and we'll see you next Sunday.